This is Nick Saban's 10th A-Day. He made a funny comment to the media the other day about how no one thought he'd be here. How great is it to see him here for a 10th A-Day?
It is great, especially when he's won 4 national championships in the last 7 years. That's an incredible feat, may never be duplicated, but we're glad to see him back working on number 17. So it's a good feeling, and you know, he said the other day people are using recruiting against him that he's getting old, but if he'd come out and watch him on the field, he's a pretty young 64. He's coaching hard and recruiting hard and working hard and got his coaches doing that. So he's doing everything he's been doing, and we're excited.
Every year this day is huge. How do you keep it that way every year?
You know, there's so much passion about Alabama football, about Alabama sports in general, but particularly Alabama football. It's in the university's DNA. Alabama was going to the Rose Bowl back in the 20s and 30s, the first Southern team to do that, and president saw the value of having good athletic teams, and so that's been an important part of the, as I said, of the DNA of this university. So, you know, the fans get excited, they become passionate. Some of our biggest donors didn't go here, but they've adopted the university because they just admire the excellence that has been able to be achieved by coaches in several different sports. We had 10 national championships over the last 7 years in 5 different sports. So it's a good place, and our fans love it. They are pretty demanding. They've gotten to where they enjoy and take for granted sometimes that we're going to compete for championships, and that's not always happening, but we're doing our best to make it do that.
When you say demanding, is it also demanding for A-Day? Do they want to see more stuff like the Alumni Game here, all that kind of stuff? Does that play into a factor? You got to do more stuff every year with this thing?
No, well, maybe. You know, we want to make the fan experience better than letting them see things that they can't see on television at home. And, you know, the $1 Million Band and Big Al and the cheerleaders and, you know, the former players coming back. But, you know, we really wanted the former players, all of Coach Saban's former players, to come back. We had a get-together golf tournament yesterday and a get-together last night in the zone, and there were a lot of his players that came back, and they gave a very touching speech about how much he had meant to them, as not only about teaching lessons in football, but preparing them for life, and they were appreciative, and he was appreciative. He teared up almost a little bit, I thought. So, yeah, we're just trying to make it, get the young players back. We got a bunch of old guys like me that come back every year, but we're trying to get these young guys to come back, be engaged in the A Club and in their sports committees, and so we're working on that, and the fans enjoy seeing that too.
Lastly here, I'll let you go. There's so many controversies with college football nowadays, satellite camps, divisions, you know, scheduling in the SEC. Fans love to get all hyped up and riled up about that. If you're an administrator and you're at a school, how do you kind of temper people's, you know, expectations when they have different opinions for everything?
Yeah, we get a lot of coaching and a lot of good advice from a lot of different sources, but you know, you gotta pay attention to what your job is and try to do your job and represent your institution and your conference as it should be represented. And there are logical things that ways that we go about making decisions and our recommendations on all of those areas. And there are differences of opinions about how you ought to do business between our various conferences. So it's interesting. It keeps everybody I guess, excited in between the game times and the season. So, you know, it is what it is. But we're glad to have people that have that passion and interest in our sport and come every Saturday, and 101,000 fill up this stadium. That takes passion, and we're proud and glad that we have that among our fans.